everyone, and welcome to Inside Track. I'm Jim Quinn. We are at the beautiful New Jersey Motorsports Park, and if you haven't been here, let me tell you something, folks. The Finish Line Pub, which is right over from the conference room we're doing the show in, has fabulous food. There you see it. And it's got fantastic food. It really does. In fact, truthfully, Newell Branin is my guest tonight. No, I got to say, it's one of the best restaurants in the city of Millville. It's got quality food and reasonable prices, too. It's very, very good. Of course, those that like to have an adult beverage, they've got all those for you. And it's a really great place to go. So if you're looking for someplace different to go for a meal, if you don't want to drive out of town, you can come right to the Finish Line Pub. They're open tonight, Thursdays till 8 o'clock, from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday, though, they're open from 11 till 11. So, that would be the times to come on out and check it out. But anyway, I've got this guy that didn't know something I knew about a month and a half ago or so. I got a call. They said, Jim, would you present this honor to Newell Branin? I said, anything for Newell. He's the best. So were you surprised?
Absolutely. I was blindsided.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Newell and Sherman Taylor and Rick Cott were sitting at the table with me, and they didn't know either, did they?
No, I didn't know. I didn't tell them. So.
I got the call from Mr. Smith and from the Elks, and he said, Jim, would you mind presenting the Malcolm Beebe Award to Newell Branin? I said, I would be honored to do that. And Newell, first of all, we're going to talk some about that tonight, about what qualified you to be a Malcolm Beebe Award winner. I received the award about 10 years ago, and Ron Durham and many people I know that got it. But the one I could compare the best to you would be Carl Frank. Because he was to the Midget Football League what you are to the Millville Youth Soccer League.
Yeah, it was a great honor. There's a long list of previous winners. It was an honor to be among them now.
Well, you deserve it.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, tell everybody how many years you've been involved with the Youth Soccer League.
So with Millville Soccer, I've been there since my daughter was, I think it was 8 years old. The fall of her being 8 years old, she joined. So I was just a parent the first year. That was 2001. So
okay.
I think. So that would have been
24 years.
Almost 24 years now. This fall will be.
Right.
But yeah, she wanted to play soccer, and it was a sport that I didn't know much about.
I was going to ask you that. I don't know anything about soccer. I mean, I go and watch my grandchildren play, but I wasn't able to coach, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. But somebody proved me different a year later. But yeah, she wanted to play. We tried. We didn't know. I wasn't involved with it, so I didn't know the sign-up process or anything. So I think it was that spring. The complex was on Sharp Street, and we decided to sign her up. So we went to go sign her up. They did in person then, and her age group was full.
Oh, wow.
So we were put on a waiting list.
Oh, my goodness.
And we didn't get a call in that spring. So we were determined to do it in the fall. So we made sure we got her signed up in the fall. And she was put with a coach that was, at the time I didn't realize was a really young coach, straight out of high school. And he was a brother of somebody that was going to school with Katie.
I see. And
so there was some, comfortableness there, and get her into the sport and learn. There was other beginners too at that age. So I must have asked too many questions, is what I say all the time. I asked too many questions because I needed to learn about the sport. All I knew is you couldn't use your hands, and you kick the ball towards a goal.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah.
At that point. So the following, the end of the season, her coach said, thank you very much for being an involved parent. Here's the clipboard. You're the coach for next season. And I was like, well, I don't know. So me and another parent kind of co-coached and learned as we went. And we did really well. Got a good group of kids. It was recreation soccer then, so not too competitive. Everybody was learning, including us. And just started getting involved, and then since I was a coach, I started attending the board meetings for the soccer league. And again, I must have asked too many questions, because when they had elections the following summer, they asked if I wanted to be involved. I said, well, I'm at every meeting anyway, and I'm here coaching my daughter, and sure. And then I haven't looked back. I'm still there. My daughters are 32 and 26, and they're not playing anymore, and I'm still there. I'm not coaching, but I'm, part of the board of directors.
Aren't you the president?
I'm the president of the board, yes.
And how long, did you tell me 8 years or so? 10?
Yes, it may have been, I should have figured that out. I think maybe 5 or 6 years that I've been president. I was vice president for a very long time, even back to when Shirley Ney was involved with the league,
boy,
too.
I forgot. Boy, she was very active in the soccer association. Yeah, she did a great job. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. So I was on the board when we were at Sharp Street, and we've been at McCafferty Boulevard now since 2011.
Wow.
So
14 years.
That's at least 14, and then plus more. That was at it's probably. I've been on the board since 2002 or 2003.
So you got 22 years.
At least 22 years on the board, yeah.
Well, certainly, I know everyone appreciates what you do. As I said, my grandsons before they moved, participated and loved it, and the concession stand's the best. My gosh, the prices are so reasonable. It's very, very nice that that's set up. And the parking is very good, to the city's credit, as they put that in. It really is convenient. And how many fields are there?
We have the ability for 10 full fields.
Wow.
But with small-sided fields and the younger ages play really small fields, we could fit a lot more than that.
That's great.
So on the smaller sides, what's called small-sized fields, we can fit 2 on each field top, so we can have 20 of the small-sized fields.
Wow.
And then there's some other extra space that we can even fit in the little fields if we needed to. So, but we have we use 6 fields regularly. They're the ones that were originally made by the developer and were sodded, but that's 11, 12, 14 years ago now. So it's just grass. We've reseeded many a times, but we use 4 fields for practices because they have lights. So at night, nighttime practices, and those fields double for our recreation use on Saturday, and then Saturday afternoons are girls' travel teams games, and boys are on Sunday afternoons, and they usually use the 2 fields, the other 2 fields that don't have lights, and they have a different grass, a different seating, and so that it's designed to hold up a little bit better than the other grass, but and they don't have lights, so their games are during the day, so we don't need to use the other fields at night. Give them a rest on the
now
weekends.
The traveling team, what areas do they play in? How far away do you go?
So all our teams, we have 9 travel teams right now. There's only 2 girls, and the rest are boys. They play in the South Jersey Soccer League and the South Jersey Girls Soccer League. So it's all of South Jersey. So it's really anything from Princeton, Hamilton Township in Mercer County, and south.
Wow. You got to drive those.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, so not everybody goes that distance. And when they first start out, it usually is kind of close to us. It's still travel, but it might be Franklin Township or Glassboro or Cape May, or in that area. But as the team grows and becomes hopefully better, they move up in ranks. So then you can be playing anybody in the South Jersey Soccer League.
Wow.
My team that we coached, we had a team that we played regularly in Chemung.
Wow.
That was one of our teams that we just always got paired with. But we also had games in Vineland and Harrison Township. That was another, Dan Glassboro. A couple of my teams always played those ones all the time. But it depends on your ranking and your record at the end of the season. So if you're in first or second place, you get moved up. And if you're in fifth or sixth place, it's usually a 6-team bracket. If you're in fifth and sixth, you might move down. But you can choose if there's space to move up. Sometimes teams merge with others or they drop out. So there's space available. So if you want to move up 2 brackets, you can. Or if you're in third or fourth place and you want to move up and there's space, they'll let you move up.
So how many coaches do you have in your league? Not just the travel league, but the local recreation league?
Well, in the recreation division, we have 22 teams, aging from under 5 to under 15. And so each team might have 2 coaches, so there might be about 44 coaches in the recreation league. Not every team has 2 coaches, but
so
maybe a good 3/4. Yes, usually, but knock on wood, this year we had enough. I didn't have to beg. Probably the first time I didn't have to beg or talk somebody into doing it. But those that I have begged or talked into doing it, they will tell you that it was a gift, or they liked doing it in the end, and they don't want to go back now. And even those that have aged out, their kids have aged out, they had a really hard time of not coaching anymore.
That's nice.
So that's a good thing. And that's sort of how it was with me. I mean, I didn't get begged to do it. I got handed the clipboard, and I didn't say no. But it was a great thing to have a team and coaching. I was telling you the other day, coaching my girls, and they're all grown up now, and getting married or having babies and things and having jobs. I still see them as, maybe 8 and 9-year-olds, and it's crazy that I see them as adults and living their own lives and having families. But they're all still my family. I still look at them and care about them and follow them and make sure that they're all doing good. And it's great to see them when I do see them. Even my older girls, who now are 30-something, that's crazy to think that, but it's awesome. That's great.
Well, you're young compared to me. My players, again, I did baseball and softball. I didn't know soccer at all. But my first baseball team, this is an interesting story. It was Ritter Construction was the name of the team, and we were the best team in the city of Millville for 2 years, 1980 and 81. At that time, the city had Millville Night. So the team that won the Little League, and now this is back in the 80s, so these guys are in their 50s now that I had. You got the 30s, I got the guys in the 50s. But what was really interesting, and it was exciting for the kids, is they're like 10, 11, 12 years old. We get to go to that stadium. I get to get out on the field with them. I get to hit them ground balls. Coach Bill Forrester, who was a great attorney, his son was one of the leading pitchers on the team, and he would hit fly balls, and Ron Shea was one of my coaches, and just really had a great team. Obviously, we won the Millville American Little League, we won the Millville against Millville National, so we won the city championship 2 years in a row. And to this day, I was interviewing Johnny Spaeth, who was my third baseman, a while back when I was doing a newspaper story for the Millville News, so it's been quite a while back. And he said to me, Mr. Quinn, my highlight of my life has been being able to go down at that stadium at 12 years old and meet Pete Rose and Mike Schmidt, Larry Boa, and all those things. And I mean, that is something very, very special. Now, talking about going to that stadium, the Union, I saw you posted some great prices for tickets at the Union. Are they gone already?
Yeah, for this Saturday they are. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So we are a youth partnership. We have a youth partnership with the Philadelphia Union. So we buy into their tickets. We have 4 season tickets for every home game, so it's 17 home games, plus a couple special games. They have some international friendlies sometimes, so we have options to get those tickets, and then any postseason games. So
That's super.
Not so much last year, but a couple years ago,
Yeah, well,
they were into the finals a few times, a few years in a row there. So we had a lot of games, and they become a premium.
I'm sure.
Wants them.
Yeah.
But so we have really good tickets. I think they're in section 125, so it's in the middle of one of the halves, and about halfway up, row P, we have aisle seats 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, so that's a seller for me. But then they're only $30 each. We only sell them. We want to keep them affordable for maybe a family that
That's
hasn't
nice. Yeah.
gone or doesn't have the opportunity. So like most professional sports now, the tickets are different for every game. Our section was selling for $80 this
I
weekend.
you put that on Facebook.
So we're only selling them for $30, and so that's obviously less than half off, or more than half off. So it gives people an opportunity to go. I think for $120 for 4, but I know this still sounds a little expensive, but for a professional sports game, it's pretty low. And we don't have to sell all 4; we can sell 2. And 2 at a time for 2 different groups if they want. Then also we haven't picked the date. I got to finalize this still. But later in the season, usually late summer, we have Millville Soccer Night at the Union.
Super.
So we have a large group that goes, and then usually our group, sometimes everybody, sometimes a certain number of kids get selected to do something special for the team. We call it an on-field advantage, but it could be sitting on the players' bench during warm-up, watching the players warm up, being banner carriers. So during the national anthem, they carry in each team's banner.
Oh, that's nice.
There's other things that they can do. We were player escorts last year, so that's a huge deal.
Wow, that's neat.
So we got to go into the locker room. Actually, it was our own locker room, but all the kids get a free union kit. So it's a uniform, a shirt, and
wow,
shorts.
that's super.
And they basically walk hand in hand with the players out to the sideline for the national anthem. They stand next to them, during the national anthem, and then they run off the field. But that's a huge thing.
That's fantastic.
That's a high-end premium. Usually we don't get to do that. We usually are the banner or what they call the bench warmers, where we sit and watch the warm-ups.
Right.
But that's usually great too. And each one is a certain number of kids that are So we sometimes do a lottery to pick them.
That's nice.
And then there's usually age restrictions or things like that, but we get them in there.
We're talking with Newell Branin, the Malcolm Beebe Award winner at the Millville Elks a few weeks ago, and the president of the Millville Soccer Association. We'll be back with Newell right after these messages.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit NJMP.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community. Local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
He was there in the temple with Zechariah. He delivered God's message to Mary. He announced the news to the shepherds. He protected the boy Jesus. He saw the water turn to wine. He led the angels to minister to Jesus in the garden. He stands in the presence of God. His name is Gabriel, and he is the witness.
Inside track here at the New Jersey Motorsports Park. My special guest is Newell Branin, president of the Millville Soccer Association. And Newell, when I was the mayor, Don Daigle wasn't very active, and so was Todd Oliver.
Yeah.
They were both very active in it. Did you meet them when you first started?
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. Todd, Oliver, and Don, and a few others I mentioned. Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley.
Were the ones that kind of brought me into the board initially. And Don was, for a while, was the director of recreation, which is a pretty busy job. So kind of managing the 22 teams that we have now, and making sure that they're all accounted for, and the messages get out to everybody, and the training's done, and so on. Right now, our director of recreation is Doug Abdil.
Okay.
So he's doing that. Don is kind of retired from it. Once his kids aged out, he stepped down or stepped away.
Yeah.
He's busy doing other things too.
This guy's Schwab business.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he was so that was my exposure to soccer before my daughter started playing, because in high school he was a pretty good soccer player.
Yes, he was.
So
yeah.
my exposure was him and Pele when I was little, and watching it on the news or hearing about them, doing so well, and then Don and others in high school doing good, because we had a pretty good boys soccer team then.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much about it. I honestly didn't. I went into it, and my daughter wanted to play, and sure, we'll play. We'll sign you up, and never looked back.
That's great.
But that wasn't the only thing that we did. I was involved in softball too. So you mentioned about
right.
with your daughter too.
Yeah.
I was there briefly. Well, my oldest played until she was 12U. They didn't have a 16U at her age, so so she was done after that. But my youngest played all the way through, so she played until 16.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on the board like I am with soccer, but I was a coach for both of them. And Katie, my oldest, for the whole length of time, and Megan, kind of off and on. I did when she was younger, and then I kind of stepped back because my job responsibilities changed a little bit, so I had to make some adjustments. And then her last couple years, I was involved. I was an assistant coach with her team, and went to the All-Star game, All-Stars, and district, states, and regionals one year too. So we did pretty well. Luckily, they were all in New Jersey. Well, the regionals were in New Jersey, so we didn't have to travel too far. But that was fun as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that as well. I started when my daughter was 9, and at that time they went up to 16. 15 was the last. But I have a really interesting story that I just really enjoyed the kids, and I know you do too. I had some super people on my own team. I had Bill Hoover, who's coach personified. He was one of my coaches, and Bruce Smith was a coach, and my brother-in-law at the time, Rick Danis. So this was comical. All of us were big men at the time, and we took over a team that had been run by Claudia McCarthy, Barb Ewan, people like that, women that were not big women. So the colors of the team was a hot pink top with black pants. So needless to say, we switched to teal tops. And of course, they kept the black pants and all that stuff, but we didn't look good in hot pink, I can tell you that. But this is something that, and everybody out there who's been chosen for an all-star team, I think you can relate to this. In my last year of coaching, maybe it was the next to last year, I was chosen to be the all-star manager for the team, head coach. So what I did was, there were 14 girls on the team, and I would take a chart before we'd go, and I'd make the chart up so every girl played. You usually had double headers, so you had 14 innings. So between the 14 innings, I wanted to make sure everyone played at least 4 or 5 innings. So whatever, at least with a double header, hopefully they got 3 innings in each game minimum. So I set it up, made the chart, and everything worked out fine. And we're winning, and we go to the regionals and all that, and we make it to the States. And my 2 coaches, who were great guys, they said, Jim, you got to stop this. I said, what's that? You got to stop playing all the girls. You got to just play the best 10 girls on the team. So I said, here. I handed them the scorebook. I said, you're the manager for today. We were down in Hamilton Township, the one down near Oak Crest and all that. So they took over and ran the team, and I just coached third base. Well, one of the players on my team, who's a sweetheart, was Heather Johnson. Her name's Johnson now. And Heather, I guess it was Johnson then actually, she was on my team, and Heather never got to play 1 minute in the doubleheader, not at all. So her mother came behind the dugout and said to me, Jim, that's it, Heather's done, she's not coming back tomorrow. So I went and I called. There was also a young lady named Kiki Deinzer who also didn't play 1 inning. So I called Heather and I said, look, I apologize to you. Please, please come back. I'm taking over the team again tomorrow. And I promise you, you will be there. You will play second base the entire game to make up for the last 2 games you didn't play. So I finally convinced her to come. Well, she comes out, and Heather has a tremendous game. She goes 3 for 4, triple, double, single, and drove in 5 runs, and was named the player of the game and given a trophy. So I thought, that sort of justifies her play. But I think about that, and I'm sure there are many people out there that played baseball, football, basketball, whatever, that maybe, or softball, who were on an all-star team but didn't get to play. And I think you almost have to make that mandatory, because what that does to the kid's psyche is they got chosen, but they weren't good enough to play. Yeah, that hurts. I know I'd heard her that night, and the other young lady, I'm sure, as well. So I think, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way, Newell, you try to give the kids an opportunity to play, especially if they're on the all-star team.
Yeah, it's really difficult to balance that. I know with soccer, when we do tournaments, we have weekend tournaments, and sometimes you play 2 or 3 games a day.
Right.
And sometimes you might have a limited roster, so you try to balance it and save somebody for the last game, or later in the afternoon. Temperature is always a factor too. So sometimes they don't understand, parents or the players don't understand that you didn't get a lot of playing time the first game, or maybe not even the second game, but we got a long weekend, so you're going to play. Just give it a minute, give it some time. You got another game coming up that we're going to get you in. It's the same thing with starting. Some people get upset because they're not a starter.
Yeah.
I always I try to explain my thoughts, my philosophy, and that the beginning of the game, the starters are not always, because we can sub unlimited, so it's not like professionals where you have to be a starter and you only can sub 3 or 4 times during the game, and then those ones don't get to play too long. So we have unlimited subs, so we don't, or I didn't always per se start the best players, because I wanted to save them to the end. Maybe I knew they were a great goal scorer, but they did not have a problem. So if we were down by 1 goal or tied, put them in and they're going to score. It's guaranteed. But they didn't start, so they get upset because they weren't a starter. But it's not like professional sports where the starting roster is the biggest, is the best. But I tried to explain that to them, and the same thing with tournament weekends and not playing one game or playing a limited amount of time in the first game, and then they get to play longer in the next game or the third game of the week of the day. And then you got upset parents because the same thing.
Yeah.
We're done. We're not coming back. I'm like, you're losing your opportunities. So please come back. And I've had it both ways. I've had ones that have come back and done the same thing as your player, and then I've had ones that just completely walked away. And you never know if they were going to be able to succeed or do well in the next game. But it's a balancing act all the time between time and skills and trying to get everybody in. So I always had the philosophy that everybody get to play. It's sometimes in different times, different amounts. It's always too against who's the opponent. Yeah. And, the opponent might be playing, very aggressive. Maybe that player can't. My player is not aggressive, so they can't compete with that. So. Give them an opportunity to play some other time when the team's a little their style's a little different, and get them in. But
well, we're talking with Newell Branin, the award-winning Newell Branin, who got the the award at the Elks for the Malcolm Beebe Award, and lots of great people preceded Newell getting that award. And we'll be back to talk more with Newell about the Millville Soccer Association right after these messages.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit NJMP.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
He was there in the temple with Zechariah. He delivered God's message to Mary. He announced the news to the shepherds. He protected the boy Jesus. He saw the water turn to wine. He led the angels to minister to Jesus in the garden. He stands in the presence of God. His name is Gabriel, and he is the witness.
Welcome back to the Finish Line Pub. I was just noticing that the Motorsports Park actually opened in 2008, and that was a year I was the mayor, and it was really great to be able to travel to Texas Motor Speedway to meet with Bruton Smith, try to get a NASCAR track here, and went to Virginia International Speedway, and we met with the people there who ended up coming and developing this. And it's very similar to what they have at the Virginia International Speedway. Harvey Siegel was the owner down there, and Harvey, along with Lee Brand and a few others, are the ones that came here and put this together and set it up and did a fabulous job. And I want to mention too that, you know, I took a lot of heat, as did the other commissioners, because we gave them tax abatements. Well, all municipalities do that. Talk to Vineland. You know, they do that all the time, because you are competing against all other communities who want that project. So anyway, the funny thing is, the wonderful thing is that the tax abatement went the course and they paid the money each time. But think about, the motorsports park doesn't have any impact basically on your police department. Occasionally they'll have rescue squad out here, but and no impact on your school whatsoever. There's no children. And then what's really happened lately that's been a home run for the city of Millville are the exotic car garages. They sell for $380,000 a piece. They've got to have at least 50 of them, and they're continuing to build. Every time I come in, there's another section of 5 or whatever they're building is being built. It's a very popular thing. Again, no impact on the city, no impact on the school, no impact on the police. You know, it's very, very wonderful, because the people don't live here full time, but they come in and they have the exotic car garage to keep their car and a place for them to sleep and relax. And it's been a great, great situation. I thank Lee Brand and Brad Scott and Harvey Siegel and all the people that made this a reality for the city of Millville. It's one of the best assets the city has. In fact, I guess it was last Saturday, I was at the Wawa across from Target, and there were at least 6 race cars there with the numbers on and all that stuff. So there was activity last week out there as well. They're open now, and they'll be open until November. So, you know, they have a special program if you want to become a member. It's a phenomenal deal. It's $1,000 for membership with all kind of rights that goes with that membership. So if you want to go to the New Jersey Motorsports Park website, you can find out all the advantages you can get by being a member, and that's $1,000 for the whole year. So it's not even $100 a month. So anyway, check that out. But you got lots of things going on out to the soccer complex as well. Newell, tell us some of the things that are going to be happening.
Yeah, well, we just started our spring season. The travel season started at the beginning of the month, March 1st.
Oh, wow.
So they had a couple away games to start the season, so that made it easier on us in preparing the fields. But so it gave us a couple extra weeks. But we had all the home games this past weekend, plus our recreation league opened, our recreation division opened their season on the 15th. So we were able to get the games in without any weather problems, because usually in the spring, the first couple weeks, we have some issues. So fingers crossed that the weather we might get tonight does not affect Saturday's games. So, but we'll see, fingers crossed. But if not, starting at 9 a.m. on Saturday, we'll have week 2, and all our recreation games will be played until 12:30 on Saturday. We'll have 10 or 12 games going on in between 9 and 12. It's a very busy Saturday morning.
That's great.
But yeah, so we're in the middle of our spring season. We're still accepting players, even though it's late. They can still sign up. We don't really like to turn anybody away, but it will be kind of shut off soon, because you don't want to pay for the full price and miss so many games. But we got almost 400 kids playing now, between recreation and travel, which is pretty good for spring. And
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we had close to 500 at one, or we had over 500 at one point.
Oh my goodness!
But it's slacked off a little bit, and then I don't want to keep blaming it, but COVID kind of gave us a little. We had to restart. But we've been going about 330, 350 a season, so we're more than that now.
Oh, that's good.
We're in the 390s right now. But yeah, so our spring season's going on. We're going to have our spring fundraiser, so raffle that'll be kicking off soon. Our fundraiser for that this year, we're just calling it. We did it last year. It's going to be a family fun outing that we're raffling off. We'll actually raffle off a couple packages of things to do with your family. So we might have some events here that involving the axe throwing, or maybe just a gift certificate to do something here. But other things will be involving like roller skating, miniature golf, bowling. We usually have a package that's an Ocean City package, not to advertise another town, but everybody likes to go there, so it'll be, game or rides and arcade tickets and go-karting and miniature golf and food, so maybe Manco Pizza or some other pizza place in Ocean City. And then also around here as well, we'll have a movie night or a movie and dinner at home night. So we'll give you some gift certificates to a grocery store to buy your dinner and bring it home and watch a movie. So rental discount vouchers for that. So we'll be raffling them off, and every family is going to get a pack of 10 tickets to sell, and they're only $5 each, so they'll have 10 tickets to sell. And so you'll be able to see any soccer player to get them, not just soccer family can buy them, anybody can buy them and have a chance at winning. We've had lots of people win that have not been a soccer family, so it's good for everybody. And then our last day of the season, May 17th, our last day of our recreation season, will be a big day. That's our family fun day. So keeping the theme family fun, our spring season always ends with family fun day if the weather cooperates. So if anybody's been around before, they know that we've had very uncooperative weather before, including last year, where the forecast was for a nice day. We had all these events planned, and then it started raining, started drizzling at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then just rain continually the whole day. And it usually goes till 1. So we played through it. It was the last day of the season. It was warm that day, so it wasn't a big deal playing in the rain or tearing up the fields because it was our last day. But most of the events for Family Fun Day were washed out. But we're going to have other events that we have planned normally is our trophy distribution. So everybody in the younger age groups gets a trophy.
Oh, that's nice.
And then the older age groups actually have a playoff to get a bigger trophy. And bragging rights, obviously, of saying that they won first or second place. So we'll have a playoffs for the older age groups as well. We're going to have some other fun games, family fun games. So I call them carnival games, so games of chance. Spin a wheel, win some tickets. We'll have a little prize table for some fun prizes for the little ones. Anybody can play it, of course, but it's usually good for the little guys. And then we'll have some field competitions like dribbling or juggling or relay races. Some family fun games like maybe 3-legged races and sack races and fun things like that. And then we'll also have some skills competition that involves soccer. So there'll be targets that they need to shoot at, goal scoring, things like that. Kona Ice will be there. The fire department, the police department, and the EMS squad will be there, hopefully, as long as they're not too busy. So they'll be there, and we want to have some other participants. We'll have a craft show, and a lot more things. We want to keep expanding it every year. It started out as small, and we've been doing it since we've been at the McCafferty Boulevard location. So this will be our 14th year doing it.
Wow.
We want to just keep expanding it. Before it was just really little. And then we'll also have a raffle drawing that day too. So the fundraiser that's going on through the season, we'll be drawing them. We'll have a silent auction, a basket auction. So we'll have union prizes. We have a jersey that's signed by the 2024 team.
Oh, that's super.
So that was a good donation. We'll be giving away, we're not just giving away, but raffling tickets to upcoming Union games that are during the summer. So they'll be in a basket, and there'll be Millville soccer stuff, and then other people that donate things will be there as well to raffle off. And then the big thing that I want to announce now is that we're planning on we're bringing back our chicken barbecue. So at the Sharp Street complex, when I started, one of the biggest fundraisers that they had was the chicken barbecue.
That's great.
And that involved a lot of people that ran that. So we need help. So if there's members listening or anybody else that wants to be involved, we would love your help and help volunteer that day. So we're bringing that back. So we're going to have that as a kind of a mini fundraiser, and that'll be that day. So tickets will be forthcoming very soon, hopefully, because we need to get them out. And like I said, our season ends that day, so it'll be hopefully a fun event all day, well, all morning until about 1-ish. It usually dies down, and that's when we're going to finish have our drawings and finish our day.
Well, we've got a couple people watching. Wes Suyak said to say hello. And this woman just celebrated her 5th year of retirement.
Yeah,
you might
lucky
know
her.
who that is, huh?
Yeah, Sue Taylor.
Yes.
Yep.
Sue was Millville police officer for 25 years. God bless her. And she just put on Facebook that today's her 5th year anniversary of retirement. Well deserved. In fact, I used to see her and Sherman a lot up at Larry's too. I don't know, I haven't been there myself lately, so that's probably the reason I haven't run into them. But good people. And Sue, thanks for your service. 25 years dedication to Millville Police Department. Not an easy job, that's for sure.
No.
You know, but
well, Sue and Sherm are now both happily retired, so lucky them.
yeah,
both of them.
That's super. Well, they deserve it.
I'll just have to take notes.
He put in 32 years, did I remember?
I believe so, yeah.
I think I read that too, yeah. But anyway, we'll be back to wrap up this inside edition here, Inside Track, with Newell Branin right after these messages.
New Jersey Motorsports Park. Experience the adrenaline rush of go-karting on our challenging tracks, with arrive and drive sessions, available for all skill levels. Looking for something even more daring? Try your hand at axe throwing, and see if you can hit the bullseye. After a day of excitement, relax at the Finish Line Pub Restaurant, and enjoy delicious food and drinks. Group experiences are also available, so bring your friends and family. For an unforgettable adventure, visit NJMP.com to learn more and book your experience today.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
He was there in the temple with Zechariah. He delivered God's message to Mary. He announced the news to the shepherds. He protected the boy Jesus. He saw the water turn to wine. He led the angels to minister to Jesus in the garden. He stands in the presence of God. His name is Gabriel, and he is the witness.
Welcome back to the Finish Line Pub at the New Jersey Motorsports Park. Newell Branin, the president of the Millville Soccer Association, is my guest. And I just want to mention to you, honestly, if you haven't been out here for dinner, you are missing one of the best dinners in the city of Millville. And the chef is fabulous. In fact, one night I was out here and Rick Cott was my guest, and Rick is a vegan. And we told the chef, and Rick said, Jim, that was one of the best vegan meals I've ever had. And he made it up from scratch, and just does a wonderful job. My favorite thing is they have a salmon salad that I just love, and I'm actually going to be coming here tomorrow night with a friend, and I'm going to have that salmon salad. But I don't know, when you go to a restaurant, do you sometimes go to the same thing that you like so much?
Yeah, and it drives me crazy.
I know.
Although I obviously go to it because I like it.
Yeah.
But I really I go in places all the time. I'm going to get something different.
Yeah.
I look at the menu and I'm like, I get the same thing.
Yeah, I know what you
all
mean.
the time.
I've been going to the Quinn in Millville getting eggplant parm. Joe Pierce and I go on Mondays usually, and it is funny. I mean, I'm a seafood person too, so I'll get broiled seafood combo or crab cakes or something like that work out well for me. So what do you got going on? Anything else you'd like to tell us about? We got about 8 minutes left.
So it's not going to take up 8 minutes, but I want to give a shout out to my grandson, whose second birthday is coming up next month.
What's his name?
Jack.
Jack. That's my grandson's name too.
Yep. So his second birthday is on April 26th, and then my nephew, William, is a few days later. So there's his second birthday.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah,
they'll be buddies growing up.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. They already are. So,
that's
neat. Just wanted to mention them.
That's nice.
But so we were talking about our spring season, ending on May 17th, and just 2 weeks later, on June 1st, our fall season registration opens.
Wow.
So if you do miss this season for some reason, or you can because maybe you're a baseball or softball player and you like playing softball in the spring and you want to play something in the fall, on June 1st we'll start our registration for the fall season. And if you register in June, there's always a discount, an early bird discount, so keep an eye on our website and our Facebook page for that, for the information about that season and the discounts.
And that's what's nice for the soccer players. You get 2 seasons, and as Newell said, if you're a girl and you want to play softball, okay, you play softball now, but then in June you register for the fall season for soccer. So it gives you 2 great things that you can do as well. And the same with little leaguers or Babe Ruth leaguers, I guess, as well, that can do that. So, well, it's something though, Newell, as soccer is growing. I mean, well, you said you had a little bit of downturn, but you're almost up to 400 people now, right?
Yes.
I have been disappointed. I don't know, maybe it's because people would rather play soccer than baseball, but the little leagues in Millville are shrinking. National Little League's out of business. And when I was managing in Millville American, we had 6 teams. National had 6 teams. We had 6 farm league teams. I'm sure they did too, T-ball teams and all that. And now they're down to just the Millville American Little League, which is the place that Mike Trout played, of course. And, I don't know why it's dropping off, but whatever it may be, maybe it is. And that's not a bad thing. As long as the kids are participating in something they enjoy participating in, that works fine for all of them.
Yeah, it's I've noticed it. I mean, like I said, I grew up in baseball. I played Millville American, and
Who'd you play for?
Harold's Heating and Wheaton Industries.
Yeah, well, that was Henry Pettit your manager?
I could not tell you.
For Wheaton Industries. Okay.
I'm sorry. I gotta look at the pictures and try to remember.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Yeah, so it was huge then, and we had 2 leagues, 2 separate leagues, East and West Side.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And when I was really younger and starting in farm league and so forth, I didn't even know there was another league. because it was just us.
Yeah.
And it was people from my neighborhood,
Right.
or on the
west side of town.
Yeah, that played. So I just didn't realize it until they started talking about the city series and the championship, and then I was like, where do these other people come from? Where's these other teams? I don't recognize them. And then
they were actually the beginning. Little League was the national. They started first.
Yeah. So and so it's really strange that it's slowed down now that there's only one league. That's kind of odd. But and then Babe Ruth is going, but I don't think they're as big as they used to be as well.
Either. Yeah.
I don't know how softball is, but I know a lot of people talk about softball, and I live right nearby, so I know that they're pretty busy. I hear the bats and the cheers all the time for the games.
Yeah.
So they're going pretty good, at least in the spring. I do know they have fall ball sometimes, but I don't know how well that is, how big that is. But and then there's football. Major League Football and the cheerleading.
Well, I'll tell you what, they do a fantastic job.
So that's pretty huge because they have a lot of people.
Yeah, the youth football, and they really feed the Millville football team, the high school team, with some fantastic players. I mean, you look at these kids like Gottzier Brooks. I guarantee you he was playing in the youth football in Millville before he got there, and mostly all the kids that play in that youth league, and to the coaches and the president and everybody's credit, that league, they do a fantastic job. And Millville High School football is one of the best teams in the state and has been for several years now. So guys at the Holly City Midget, or I don't think they call it Midget anymore, Holly City Youth Football League, congratulations, keep up the good work. We Millville football fans love you for what you do for us, and keep that work going for us as well.
Yeah, I know there's we were talking about feeding. It's like we have a couple of our travel teams that have sistered or brothered with the high school teams.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They'll do some accommodation training, or they'll go to the games and watch them and cheer for them on the sidelines. So the little guys are there for the high school game. And then obviously they feed into them too. And baseball, the same thing. So I know they've had coaches come out to some of the clinics at baseball and work with them from the high school, and then the kids go there. But we talk about other leagues. You have Millville basketball as well.
I was going to say, I don't know where that is, because they don't seem to have a feeder system for basketball in Millville, and wrestling either. They used to years ago.
Yeah, and then there was track too. There was a track club that fed into the high school. So I don't know where that is because I'm not involved. But basketball's still there. I know a lot of kids play. So I know in the springtime they were worried about it overlapping, and it doesn't for soccer.
Oh, okay.
So because they're coming out of it and there's a little bit of downtime. But I know a couple of kids that do play it, so they go to the league. And
that's good.
One thing, you don't see them because they're not out on a field.
Right, that's
you
true
don't
too.
see them, you don't hear them.
Good point.
They're inside of a school basketball.
Yeah. Actually, my grandsons played in that program.
My youngest daughter, Megan, played that, and it was a pretty good league then.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a while ago, but
some good people that work with that as well. Yeah, so at least they're lucky to have those leagues coming. Well, Newell, keep up the good work. My gosh, congratulations.
Thank you again.
Take care of everything.
It's an honor to have that, to get that award.
Yeah, the Malcolm Beebe Award. That a lot of people, including myself, were honored with that.
Yeah.
Timmy Shannon, Rob Shannon, lots and lots of great people, and nobody deserves it more than you do. You put a lot of time, a lot of effort in, and thank you on behalf of the kids from the Youth Soccer League. Well, you love people. That's what helps too, for sure.
Yep.
I want to thank Ryan Narowski for producing the show today. I want to thank Brad Scott and all the staff here at the New Jersey Motorsports Park for hosting us, and we'll see you again real soon. Have a good night. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.